What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the green color, playing as Thor. His name is Shelty. His partner today in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Joe. Their opponents today in the red color, playing as Kronos. His name is Roberts. And in the sky blue color, playing as Snow, in the sky blue color, playing as Loki, his name is Snow. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do see ourselves a cheeky 2v2. In the clan team game tournament, 2v2s are an option. We, what's the way to say this? We prefer 3v3s if it's possible, but considering players are playing from all over the world, we much prefer to have the game's played rather than not played, and a 2v2 is a great way to help players out with that scheduling stuff there if things are a little bit challenging time zone wise. So turns out these guys decided to go with a 2v2, which is completely in the rules, completely fine to go for, and I'm excited to watch it. 2v2s are very much fun as well, and it's interesting here because Joe has decided to go with Loki. Not going for his Egyptian. His tried and true Egyptian is not good enough, it seems, for the TNT B team, and he's going to be switching into the more powerful Loki at the moment. We do have the map painted desert. It is game number 2. DOD won that first game in commanding fashion. I'm excited to see Roberts here with Kronos. The problem is that well, okay, let's talk about it because it's interesting. So Kronos got buffed in a fairly big way, I think, in 6.0. Kronos got himself access, instead of 10% boost to myth unit speed, it went up to 20% boost to myth unit speed. And what does this do for Kronos practically? You have to also remember that Prometheans were reduced by 10%. So in actuality, Prometheus for Kronos had a very slight nerf. Very slight. But what does it mean for Kronos' other gods? Well, Leto now for Kronos, that is an option now. Leto now is a very, very good option for Kronos because those automatons now move up to above 5.0 speed. I think it's 5.04. So they can dodge arrows, which means against certain gods, maybe not against a Loki here, who's not going to need to throw arrows to kill off an automaton, but against certain gods, it's very, very good. As we do see a cheeky temple coming up here. Does Roberts... Roberts is going to see it. Roberts sees it. Oh, that's going to get deconstructed. You have to time this though. You can't click, well, maybe you could, maybe just clicking deconstruct on it is fine. Joe can throw down 2 temples here. It's fine. Anyways. As I was saying, it's not a terrible idea to go for Leto now with Kronos over going Prometheus because it's very, very good. Also, the Satyr are going to be much quicker, going to be easier to defend. Also, the Behemoth is going to be much quicker, easier to attack. The Argus is going to be much quicker, easier to one-hit units. And the Hecagigante is going to be much quicker, easier to obviously defend on the offense there without keeping it alive. As we do see that deconstruction gets dropped down. And obviously, we will be seeing Joe retreating back. Does he have enough? That was amazing. I don't know if that was his plan or not, but the adaptation from Joe getting spotted means Roberts is terrified. Roberts expects to see a temple coming up. He's expecting a aggression to come his way, and he's preparing for it with the oracles in his main base. But guess what? Joe is just like, I don't care. Temple in my home base. And Roberts is just getting mind tricked here in this game in a big way. This is what I love about Age of Mythology, man. The mind tricks, the like getting inside your opponent's head and just like doing one thing but also doing something else and really, really confusing them where that's concerned. As Ursa looking forward here for Snow, going to attempt to get some damage done onto Shelty's forward villagers here, but Shelty's gone through Thor. And we know how good Shelty's Thor is here. There's a handful of strong Thor players out there. No one else plays Thor very good. There's a handful of good Thor players. It's like you can count them on a couple of fingers. but Shelty's definitely one of them. So Snow's going to have his work cut out for him. As you can see, Shelty, nice defense here early with those villagers, getting a little bit of damage done onto Snow's Hearse. So going to be pulling back for the time being. As you see the Prometheans moving across the map here, you can see that their speed is at 5.94 now instead of 6.05. So a very, very, very slight nerf onto the Chronos Prometheans as well. But they do have, Chronos does have some other very, very fun things that he can do. As we're starting to see the units popping out here. Bit surprised to see a counter barracks opening into Terma here. Generally speaking, I would recommend against Loki to go full Murmillo or go full Murmillo and Caraballister as Chronos, because they do move faster. They are a lot better than, say, like an Uranus thing or something like that. Anyways, the Prometheans coming back over here as Joe is calmly killing giraffes in the center of the map. Very, very rudely, but he is doing it as the Ursa pulling back over here. As Roberts is pushing in, we do see Hall of Flames already on the way, and Joe's just going to be taking his time where that's concerned. An attempt at some forward walls here as well. Did Shelty go through Forcetti? Yeah, he did. So Forcetti is in for Shelty as well. One thing to remember about playing Forcetti as Thor against Loki is that the trolls are a much, much better option in the heroic age some of the time. So you can opt into not going for like a whole bunch of frost giants in favor of going for a whole bunch of trolls to deal with like enemy myth units, for example, like fire giants, for example, are actually countered by mass trolls. Little known fact, there you go. Teaching age mythology. That's what we do here on this channel. Trolls are good. They're actually really, really good. Anyways, onwards and upwards. House coming up on this position here for Joe. He's just playing a nice defensive position now. Going to try and put the pressure onto Roberts, whose army is a little bit slow at this spot here, as the citizens will get spotted. They can dive into the manor here. Good reaction, but the citizen... teleportation skills unlocked way back in ancient Atlantis times. The teleportation skill is a lovely one, but it is what it is. Anyways, we see the Hersa running through from Snow, looking for some damage onto Joe's main base here, but Shelty is in hot pursuit. The Hersa over here getting chased around. Unfortunately, it's really not your best bet here with Atlantean to just chase Loki Hersa around. Your best bet is to send your units forward and just try and force fights. Trying to get hit raids is good, but mostly trying to force fights against the Norse player is what you want to be doing. And the way to do that is to get wall segments up around your towers, get yourself watchtowers, get yourself, hopefully with a whole bunch of goats, husbandry, citizens not too far outside of your base on hunt most of the time, and at the very least having them nice and protected. And then you can pull back into your main base, eat those goats as you're putting pressure on to the Loki player. Anyways, we see some Hersa, not some Hersa, they are Oracles. Oracles moving through. No focus in for Roberts. I'm a little bit disappointed there. Focus is a really, really good upgrade. I believe it gives, if we actually take a look at it quickly here, it gives 20% movement speed, damage, and hit points. So it's a big, big upgrade, and it's actually well worth it to make Oracles and use it, because the big thing about Oracle heroes is they don't have any damage. There's no units that have bonus damage versus Oracle heroes. So unlike Murmillo heroes or Terma heroes or things like that, as the Hersa getting pushed back over here again, we do see some cheeky raids coming through from Shelty as he's spreading his units out all around, getting some good damage onto Snow, but Snow just pulls back into his main base. No problems there. He's actually completely fine, it seems. A little bit pushed off of resources, but he's got chickens here. We do see that Snow is also on hunt over here and the gold, as Shelty not quite aware of what's going on where that's concerned. As the wall's getting broken down, and Shelty now going up through Skadi here. Obviously, Skadi is an incredibly important god to go through to find the advantage against Loki. This is part of the reason why some players believe that Thor is actually a bit of a counter to Loki, as we see Bragi coming through for Joe as well. And I'm sure Snow is going to be wanting to go to the next age, but I don't think he's got some good resources, actually, so I wouldn't be surprised if he can get there relatively soon. But he's going to be chasing Shelty quite a lot here, as Shelty now up to the top gold mine over here. A couple of farms are down. Villagers sneaking around onto this position here as well. They have been spied, and I would love to see Snow staring at that mini-map, watching those villagers come in here and send some units up there to defend that one. As Joe is just still running rings around Roberts, and I can tell you once, I've seen it a million times. Loki, if he can have his way with Atlantean, he can literally just walk into the opponent's base, click flaming weapons, and everything gets very, very challenging for an Atlantean user at that stage. So you really got to get some early damage done, which unfortunately Roberts has not managed to do here. As we see the Herser moving forward, and the stuff is about to get targeted down. Is there going to be a flaming weapons getting dropped? Good micro over here from Joe. No flaming weapons just yet. As the Herser leaving this spot, going to be hitting Snow's dwarves here. But it does look like Roberts has told him the Herser are coming, going to be pulling back. And it does look like Joe still not clicking that flaming weapons. Bit strange. Could have just used it. Probably could have won the game where that's concerned at this point. But pulling away. Getting the damage done. We see Shelty coming around into the side looking for stuff. Look at this cheekiness here from Snow. I love that. That's so sneaky. Off into the corner of the map there. Nice and defensive. And he's going to be able to come back out here at any point and grab that gold mine. Watchtower's up for Roberts. Hyperion on the way for Roberts as well, as a whole bunch of Hero Terma getting converted. The Murmillo coming in over here as well, getting pushed back. As Shelty coming over here, and Frost getting dropped down. Going to hit those dwarves as well. Ah, dear. And Joe there, clicking his own flaming weapons on this position, pushing through. He's got a handful of Herser, but really not that many. This is a great fight, in all honesty, for Roberts. He's under watchtowers. He's got the Hero Terma here to take out the battle boars, to take the Ironia. Great defense here from Roberts, in all honesty. He's also about to hit Hyperion, so he can use that one if he wants to on maybe... well, he probably doesn't need to, because he's actually just hard won this fight. Good retreat away here at the moment, as the Murmillo need to get brought back to take out those Herser. Herser are very, very strong. We do see the Ironia getting taken out there as well. Look at this Satyr, though. 4.5 speed. Very, very quick, but it's going to be getting taken out there by the Herser. Does it live? It's lived with 11 HP, yes. And Joe's attack there didn't do anything. Roberts did really, really well. Great defense there from Roberts. As the Dwarves back to work, but Shelty is still going to be a menace in this game. Got those Thrum Frost Giants there as well. Pulling away. Snow's in a tough position here. He could sneak in onto this gold mine again with those villagers over here if he wants to. But Shelty is making the correct judgment at this point that Snow doesn't have that many military buildings up. So he can just sit in here underneath the town center fire and just not care. Is Snow got a whole bunch of resources in the bank? He doesn't even have resources in the bank. So all of the units here of Snow getting taken out, as Roberts is going to be able to continue to push back up on this spot. He does have to deal with these battle boars, but luckily he's still got those Hero Terma to get the damage done. He still has to be careful not to lose his Hero Terma against those Herser, but he can retreat back and has to regroup against that. And we will be seeing Snow in that position, deciding to tap out, and I'm sure Roberts here is going to follow suit very, very shortly. Lots and lots of battle boar in for Joe as well. Difficult to deal with. Not impossible, difficult to deal with though. And we will be seeing Roberts tap out. I've got to give credit where credit's due here. Roberts fought valiantly in this fight against Joe. It felt like he was in what would normally be a nigh impossible to defend position, but he played well against what Joe was doing, defended the flaming weapons really, really nicely. He just could not find a big enough advantage against Joe here, and the battle war going to push him out. Shelty, on the other hand, does what Shelty does. He is an absolute menace in Age Mythology. Really, really strong player. Someone to keep your eye out in this team game tournament to really be putting DOD in good positions throughout this entire game. Definitely someone to be focusing on because he is incredibly strong. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Does have some good upgrades here as well. I completely missed that. And I'll see you guys in the next game.